Okay, Dr. Metters here. Let's talk about Chapter 3 material, which is objects, events. And mainly we're going to focus on right now the object portion of this instead of the forms. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the assignment that he's got in the book, the author has in the book. Let's see where it is. Account Class 2, page 96 in the book. And what we're going to look at is the pseudocode for that's in the book, just kind of talk about it, and then the actual real code. So this may take a minute or two. So of course we got your comments. Now what we're doing with objects is we're creating, in other words, instead of having a number, a variable like X, and make it one individual value like a 5 or a last name equals to Smith in quotes, what we're able to do is we're able to create objects of our own actually, and then they will have any of the properties that we want to include with them. Then what we're going to do is instantiate or make available another object of our own that looks like that other one, kind of as a template. Okay, so in the first example, what we got some variables here. This is the class. All right, when you call it a class whenever you create an object, and we're going to we have certain variables here. All right, we're going to construct a method, and this is all pseudocode. Now, what's keenly need to be really understand is these items in parentheses. Now, the method is called account. Okay, these are the different types of values that it can be. It's going to have a string of account type. Think about what an account could have. Account type, checking, savings, CDs, money market. Account number, where that number is, someone's last name, the first name, and the balance. Alright, so then what we're going to be doing is we're going to construct a method that is going to be used a little bit later. Now let's go down here to the method because it makes more sense to me to actually discuss. Let's look at one of these methods right here. Method deposit. In this method called deposit, we're going to pass, and in parentheses we have it, parentheses is what is being passed or given. Sort of like when you say equals sum in a spreadsheet, what's in parentheses is what is being passed or given to the sum function as parameters, we call it, and they mention that in the book. So deposit is my function or my method. It's implemented in JavaScript as a function, but it's called a method. And we're going to give it an amount, excuse me, type numeric, excuse me. And then we're going to say account balance equals account balance plus amount, and then actually display account balance as that value. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to call deposit, or we're setting a method up here for deposit, and when we invoke that, what's going to happen is we're going to actually pull an amount in, all right, and then take the value that's in my class, account balance equals the old value of account balance plus that new amount you entered in as the deposit. So that's just an example, all right. Down here is where you go actually really make it available and use it. So when you say my savings account dot deposit of 100, that 100 is going to go into the deposit function or method in this value right there. So 100 is going to be stored into this. Think of it as a placeholder. So when I call this, what's going to happen is that my savings account dot deposit is going to be handed $100 in this example. So the $100 is going to go right in here to amount. So essentially, dot deposit down below is what we're referencing right here. I'm going to cut some of these other things out so you can kind of see it a little bit better. All right. All right. So I have my deposit, and I'm going to go up here, and that deposit word right there is the same as that one on purpose. So my savings account is when I'm going to come back to that in a minute, what that my savings account dot is. All right, so the deposit of $100, 100 is going to go into the function or the method called, they're synonymous terms, called deposit as the amount value. So whatever the new balance of the account balance is going to be the old one plus that new amount. All right. Now, where did we get this my savings account from? Remember up here where we declared an account of this type as a class. All right. and this is receiving the incoming data. We're constructing it. This is like my blueprint, and this is like my actual doing it. Okay, so what we're doing is we're saying an account, my savings account, is of type new account, and there's the values. S for savings, and then the account number, then the name, last name, first name, and the amount. So before we even deposit it, Sandy has put $80 in there. Now where are these 5 values going to be going to? They're going to go to this up here. So you're saying my method account, I got a new account called my savings account, is of type account, that same name, and it's got 5 variables. It's going to be a string of type, which is that's like a text, right? It's going to be separated by commas. Numeric num, that's the account num, separated by commas. That's her last name, separated by commas. That's a string of her first name, and then that's the numeric balance. So when we pass 80 in here, balance is going to be actually account bal is going to be given the value of the balance. Account bal equals bal, and bal was, how did we get bal for balance? From the $80 right there. Just follow this route, follow this, and you'll be on the right track. So back up. There's a lot to this. We are actually defining my class up here, the different variables. Okay, that's the class. We're going to have to receive data by saying the account balance, this value, the variable we use up here is going to be equal to some incoming amount that's going to be called upon when we declare it, so to speak. All right, so we first set up the account savings. That's the amount, Sandy Dunes. That's the account number. Sandy Dunes is the person, $80. And then we're going to add 100, withdraw 50, and keep on going. Now, I'm going to show you the code in JavaScript, which looks like this. And we're going to go run it. All right, so you've got, let me go back, pull this code back up over here. Okay, I did pull out some of this other over here on purpose, well, so that we'd have enough room to play around with, because there's a lot on the screen. So here, we're constructing a function, like we did over here, like over here. This dot, when you say this is the current, the function is a term we use to declare, to define something, and this is reusable code. The left paren, left curly brace, and the right curly brace, that defines the function. So we're constructing the account class. It's going to have an account type, savings, checking, account number, last name, first name, remember Sandy Dunes and her balance of 80. Well, this dot account, you always have object dot method. So this dot, or property, object dot account type is going to hold the incoming value of the type, and the number, incoming value of the number, and the last name, the incoming name, first balance. Then we're going to link them together so that we're actually, that kind of glues them together. And then we got my functions. That's my deposit, and it looks similar to this one over here, but it's implemented with a function. Deposit amount, this dot account balance, that means the current account balance is equal to this, the old one, plus the new amount incoming. And you're going to do that for withdrawing, and then you're going to display some names, and you're going to inquire, and you're going to display all that. And first thing we're going to do is go down here and say var, my savings account is of new account type, and give it the data. So where did we see that account? Var for variable, up here. Where is it? Up here for account. Interesting is that I could call this anything I want to. I could call it my checking, but I need to refer to it the same all the way down. So here we're going to deposit 100, my savings account dot deposit. 100 is going to go being passed or given to the deposit method. The deposit method is going to take that as an amount incoming into that AMT variable. Then the account balance, the new account balance equals to 80. Where did we get the 80 from? From right here when we first called upon it to set it up, to instantiate it, plus the amount of 100. So it's going to be 180. And then we're going to actually withdraw them out and inquire, which is going to display some stuff. And you go back through it and you'll see it. I'm going to press F, I'm going to run this. Whoops. I'm going to go run this, and you'll see it in action. Hang on a minute. It's going to take a minute to pull it up. File block comment. All right. So she had 100. She deposited 80 plus 100 was 180. She took out 50. We showed the balance. Then we did an inquiry. All right. You go back and look at it, and you'll see this makes sense. Thank you.